the most important challenge was finding the location of the new capital. We are a very big state, 50 million people. So the new capital must be convenient to all sections of the population, or stretched over 1,000 kilometers length of the state. So locating itself took some time. We had to plan in such a way that it is centrally located, it is convenient, and it is accepted by entire population as their new capital. That being the first challenge, we got into the second important issue of getting the land which is enough for planning a capital city in the 21st century. We are going to be one of the first few cities built on greenfield for the establishment of a capital. So this is a huge task, considering that entire land there is irrigated. It is owned by private population. So we had to convince them to give their land for development as a new capital reason. So this task took a lot of effort from the politicians, from the administrators, especially to convince the population there to give the land in exchange for the developed piece of land. We did a lot of exercise, we consulted a lot of people, public representatives, and convinced them that establishment of a new capital is going to give them new lease of economic life in that area. From agriculture economy, now they are transiting into a modern city economy, whereby the professions, whereby the trades will be much different from what they have been doing. So this process of convincing the people to transit seamlessly, effortlessly into new economic order was quite a task. That was the second most important challenge. Third challenge was conceptualizing the new capital. We are still attending to that with the help of course, the Singapore government. We want to build a capital which is inclusive, that is, which takes care of all sections of the population. It should not be concentrated for the sake of one section of population. It shall give opportunities to all segments of population. In that sense, it has to be inclusive, it has to be modern, it has to provide all the civic amenities, it has to provide all the economic opportunities in a smart fashion. It shall not be, sloth-filled, bureaucratic. It shall reflect that it is built in the 21st century and not in 19th century. Most of the capitals in India are of 19th century creations. So we wanted to look different, we wanted to look modern, and we wanted to look inclusive. So this was the third biggest challenge. The third challenge we are still trying to grapple with. The model we have adopted is Singapore, which is very modern, which provides equal opportunity to different segments of the population. So we hope to do a good job in making the capital city inclusive and full of opportunities for the people. The first and foremost thing is the process of planning. I saw Singapore's master plan prepared in 1971. I compared it with the latest one. I find that the most of the elements, major elements of the master plan prepared 4 decades ago are still preserved. Still they are safeguarded. In fact, the green areas in the master plan prepared then have expanded, they have not contracted, unlike in other major cities in India and elsewhere. That's the greatest achievement of Singapore. So I would like to see how you people have done that and try to take at least a part of that to India for the creation of our new capital. That's the most important thing which we could learn from the planning process in Singapore. That must have involved a lot of foresight, that must have involved a lot of mathematical, statistical calculations, and that also must have involved a lot of vision from your leadership. So we also have equally good leadership, democratic leadership in India. We would like them to repeat this type of exercise in planning for the new capital city, so that we get a properly planned city for the state of Andhra Pradesh. The next most important thing is the technical excellence. When I go around Singapore, I see that each bit of the city is decorated. Like you decorate your drawing room, every part of the drawing room with some kind of a painting, some kind of a picture. So that kind of an application, the excellence in building up the city, that's the second most important thing. Most of the public places in India, which are owned by the government and municipalities, are not invested upon. Government doesn't invest much on the public places, because of which they are run down in normal status. So we can learn from Singapore in beautifying them, in making them livable, and also extract some economic value out of these open places and places which are available. So the scarcity of land made Singaporeans initially to think of that. Later they saw the benefit out of it and did it to the perfection. Maybe we can learn from that technical excellence and also the sense of beauty which we can draw from Singapore. That's the second most important lesson which we could grasp during these few days of training. The third most important thing is the adherence to the plans prepared. It's so nice to see that the compliance levels are very high, and if anybody does not comply, he is treated properly. That's the most important lesson which our planners should understand, that you plan in such a fashion that implementation will be seamless. It will not be with effort, it will be effortless. So these three are the most important lessons for our planners, for our city builders. Apart from the fact that you have set up organizations which have specialized technical skills which cater to every possible need of the city. Your city state has got several specialized organizations which take care of each of the individual functions of the city municipality and its functions. So that's one area which we can copy in India. Instead of focusing on the regional administration alone, we can look at functional administration, whereby each agency will acquire the specialized skills and reach the global standards and set benchmarks for our own cities at the regional and international level.